Well, hello and welcome to my channel. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're all doing well. It is Maundy Thursday today in Australia. For those of us that celebrate Easter, Maundy Thursday. I also need to apologise. Hello, Christine. I used a bit of a clickbaity title, but hey, I figured what was good for the goose is good for the gander, right? You can't wait to hear this. Better with the Irish. Yes. Well, I could say I'm probably reaching a little bit, but we are. Oops. But you can make up that mind for yourself. Actually, to be fair with you, because Meri Brown posted on her Instagram, and she's done a great big long post about grief and how there's no time frame for grief, and considering all the stuff that has been aimed at that family over grief, I went, that looks like that's a slam dunk. So let's have a look at what Meri posted. This was a day ago. So this was, I think, around the time of she hasn't named her better than the Irish. Better with the Irish, better with the Irish. She hasn't named her per se, but I would definitely say, am I loud enough? Like I can hear some echo in, so hopefully I'm not too loud. Let me know if I'm too loud at all, and I'll turn myself down. Yes, I did see KJ's post about Cody's hair. So this says, today, March 26, marks 3 years since the passing of my beautiful mum, and 3 weeks since the passing of our sweet Garrison. Grief is a myriad of emotions that include despair and anger, feelings of pain, or hopelessness. It's a universal human emotion and a natural response to loss. Grief is also love, for without the feeling of love, the pain of loss wouldn't be so great. Grief sends you on a roller coaster of emotions, never knowing the twists and turns ahead, whether you're headed into an uphill or free fall. Grief is not linear. There's no timeline or rule book to follow. It's not the same for any two people, and no two people handle it in exactly the same way. I've had my share of loss, both through deaths and endings of relationships, and each loss is individual and has a unique timeline of manageability. Having lost to death both parents, 3 siblings, and now one of our boys, I recognise my coping mechanisms. I recognise when I need to go inward and to be alone, letting the grief move through me as I cry alone into my pillow. I recognise when I need to surround myself with trusted people to gather strength from, and I recognise when I need to attempt, in some small way, a semblance of normalcy. In each step, it takes a little bit of bravery to recognise and give that gift to myself. My timeline of grief, the way I deal with it, the emotions I feel through it might be different than yours. And yours might be different than the next person's. Neither is right and neither is wrong. It just is. Life will never go back to normal after a loss. This particular normal will never be again, but it will go forward. It always moves forward. It then becomes a question of what will you do in that forward? What will the new normal look like? What will you do to honour the love and the relationship with the person you lost? For me, I will remember and celebrate the good times and the beautiful memories. I will honour myself and the grief when it arises, because it inevitably will. But most importantly, I will live, and I will love every day of that living. that was what Meri, and I just, as I said, I thought it was a bit of a smackdown to everything that was said by Katie Joy, just particularly because she has eloquently described her own grief. She has outlined that no person grieves the same, that what every relationship has a different grief timeline as well. And that it's about recognizing when you need to be by yourself and when you need to surround yourself with other people. And that, as I said, I think is a bit of a smackdown because, it might have been a bit of a clickbaity title, but, considering that was a day ago and that was posted at a similar time as Cody was getting criticised for his hair by Katie Joy, or was looking bewildered, or she's criticised Christine going back to work. I think it's so eloquently put. You think it is? I don't doubt that, Joanne. Katie has been wrestling. Yes, well, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, when you've got, posts like this. So this was also a day ago. So they're both around the same time. And so I can't help but wonder. That's why I'm wondering. See, this is Katie Joy. Christine and David were sitting with all of Christine's journal. They're surrounded by children. Da 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 da. So she's telling us all where everybody sat. But I've seen other photos, and she's saying that their children did not attend. But I don't know how she knows that the children did not attend because I've not actually seen a photo anywhere. Oh wow, she has gone in there. Look at that. They could be sitting I mean, oh yeah, there's Meri. They could not. I mean, they may not be in the shot, but it's interesting that Meri's posted that at the same time as this has all been done. This has been posted. So it was very nice of them to do that. Now, I don't know. They look pretty upset to me, but she was, according to KJ, they look bewildered. I don't know how she knows based on those who, I mean, you don't know who was sitting behind. And apparently a neighbour of Cody and Robin's, new source came forward, of course that did, claims that the Brown family was seen filming all of last week. According to the source, family members were seen arriving at the production house to shoot their couch interviews. The neighbour, who wishes to remain anonymous, is this the same one as the one that showed us those fake photos? Has had run-ins with Cody, which haven't been pleasant since Cody moved there in 2019. Well, we know why they want to dish the dirt, don't we? If they're not getting on. According to the neighbour, Cody's all about money and constantly planning to film and scenes for the show, despite Garrison's death. The thing is, life still has to move on. People still have to make money. People still have to pay bills, whether or not someone dies, passes away. I'm waiting for TLC lawsuits since she's blaming them into producers. I also love that her followers are hammering her hard. Christine says, since Katie only cares about herself, she has no understanding of grief. And then she says, Cody's and Robin's presence in the neighbourhood is no longer welcomed, and as their home has become a hot spot for people to drive by and spot. Cody is also a notorious speeder and apparently drives way too fast in the neighborhood. Get this! Oh, quick, get this! The neighbor claims that Cody's house doesn't have a well for water, nor does the home have a hook up for city water. The home has a cistern that is installed, which has water delivered to the home constantly. Is out of a question, is that normal? Out of just questions to the people that live overseas, is that normal? Because I can't imagine having been in a place that hasn't got some type of water source, tanked water or a cistern or town water. Anyway, filming of the show in the neighborhood is an annoyance to the neighbors, and it's become a headache for them. Cody is going to milk Garrison's death for every last cent. Really? Here's the other question. Hello, Barbara. How does she know what the contents of the filming's about? How does she know that they're actually talking about Garrison? I'm not sure why that is not newsworthy, says Christine. No, neither do I, Christine. But why, like she's saying they're going to milk Garrison's death for every cent. Well, how does she know that that's the case? She's got no idea what's being filmed or what's happening. And at the end of the day, it's their story to tell. To be honest, not typical. But if he's getting water, what does it matter? Says better with the Irish, right? See, I just for me, but then I live in the city, so for me, I I think it not having some type of proper water source, I guess it's no different to those that have to have their gas filled up. It would seem like she's, as I said, what does it matter? What does it matter if they're filming about how they're coping with the loss of their family member? And don't forget, there was mention when Meri's mother passed. There was mention of that too. They dealt with it. They talked about that grief, and they talked about the relationship that even Cody had with her. That Cody had respect for Meri's mother, and Janelle's mother. I mean, there was mention when Janelle's mother passed. So one of Janelle's parents passed. So they've mentioned it. They've mentioned family members passing in all their series. I mean, to ignore Garrison's passing would be really weird, wouldn't it? But at the end of the day, it's their story to tell. Oh, does it? A cistern collects rainwater? Okay, nice. So it is possible then that they're getting rainwater in there. So they might just need to get extra water shipped in if it's warm. Then would that be correct? If there's rain, they might be okay. Is that right? I mean, that's not normal. I mean, there's some rural areas that have to have water shipped in because there's not been enough rainwater, and they have to have their rainwater tanks filled up so that they can shower for their animals and stuff. I know that they're not necessarily country, but yeah. Right. So it is quite possible then that when it rains that they would have water, but they're in a dry spout at the moment. I mean, how she wrote when she wrote, but get this, as if it's like I was expecting something really juicy. Like, get this. The neighbor claims. But get this. Just the way that she's written that, as if it's like the biggest scoop known to man, hey? But get this. So that was 2 hours ago this was posted. So she's still going on about it. She had a go at she's spoken about P. Diddy. She did the Frankie stuff. Yeah, and I'm staying away from that because I just find it unbelievable. I don't think everybody needs to be talking about it, but yeah, I just don't understand why why it's such a big thing that they is she going to say, but get this, Cody had we call it Wheaties for breakfast or something, but get this, it's just really bizarre how she's made it all about herself, like she has this big scoop. But I thought, as I said, that post that was posted around the same time as this other stuff that Katie was posting from Meri about grief and there being no timeline and that people deal with it differently and that each death is dealt with it differently. Meaning she'll process it differently to Janelle because it was Janelle's flesh and blood and her stepson, the way that those relationships form. If she's closer to one, she's gonna, it's gonna be different to somebody else. So everybody processes their grief in different ways, and it doesn't matter, whether it's a death or a breakup or an ending of a relationship. Everyone processes it differently. It also depends on whether you've been able to say goodbye to the person. All of that makes a difference for things. So I was going to say, I'm also now essentially on school holidays. We're on school break. We've got 2 weeks off. I don't go back now to the 15th of April. So I'm hoping to post a lot more now. I'm hoping to be on a little bit more now because I've got some time over. But anyway, there's some other things. And the 4th of April, the judge is handing down the decision in the big defamation case, which I'm very interested in. An hour ago, so this is on her Facebook. She's called it Robin's blatant disrespect. She's saying it's disrespectful for Robin to sit in the front row of Garrett. It says Robin's blatant disrespect. Respectful decision to sit from Robin Brown's disrespectful decision to sit from row at Garrison's funeral fuels outrage online. Why her choice to sit in the front row? A blatant disregard of Garrison's feelings and pain. Oh, look at this comment. That is right. Looking up, right, left when speaking indicates the struggling. At the end of the day, she's also his father's wife. Robin's his father's wife.
He does have somewhat of a relationship with Garrison right now, a little bit, but there's no reconciliation really. His communication has become a lot of reference to, you can't talk about Robin, she's the one that's loyal to me. I don't want Robin to see this or be exposed to this.
I had one of my children complaining that I was always at one wife's house.
And whose house was that?
Always Robin. Robin's to blame for everything. There was a shift of blame towards Robin that got to the point where it was...
Well, that's right, Christine. All the other wives were there. Why aren't you complaining about Christine sat there with her husband? Why was David in the front row? Because it was Christine's husband. David's Christine's husband. Of course she's going to sit with... Of course. You're right. Anyway. This is a 17-minute video. I don't know that I'm going to be able to cope with it all. So yeah, so she's saying Robin's blatant disregard of respect. And so all the like he has a right to be in the front row, but she didn't. You know, it was. It's really bizarre. So now she's focusing on this. So this is the video that
where
she
it's
posted.
making me so angry that I was getting to the point where if you had a complaint about her, I'd be like, shut up.
Oh, that stupid music. All right, let's have a look at this.
Hey friends, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome.
Why is she saying friends? Yeah, well, she hasn't deleted those yet. She says, hi, friends. Since when? I know. So if you look at that picture, you've got David sitting next to Cody. Why is he? What? How come she's not saying, well, David has no right to sit in the front row? Robin is still one of his mothers.
Welcome back to my channel. It's Wednesday, March 27th, 2024, and I hope everyone is having a great day. Yesterday, we shared photographs from Garrison's memorial that was held in Clark County for his service with the National Guard, and photographs that were shared by the National Guard, the Nevada National Guard, on.
Now, Robin looks absolutely devastated. She looks very upset there. Absolutely upset. I hate Erin. She's so contradicting. She copied Rabbit. Oh, did she, Nikki? She copied. That wouldn't surprise me. From my point of view, Robin looks devastated. And you can see Christine in the background. But as I said, Cody is Garrison's father. He has a right to sit up the front, and his wife is allowed to sit up the front with him. Christine's in the front row with her husband, and if Janelle had a husband, he'd sit in the row. If Janelle had another partner, he'd sit there with her. It's
Facebook
normal.
Showed that the family was given a military service, and it was the seating arrangement that had a lot of people caught off guard. The reason the seating arrangement caught people off guard was less to do with Cody, but the fact that Robin was sitting front and center at his funeral, knowing that Garrison didn't like Robin.
You're joking. So, how much of the dislike though was just for the cameras though?
Robin, who is married to Cody, likely felt that it was her place to sit up front, but Robin, over the past several years, had spent much of her time on Sister Wives, calling Garrison and Gabriel unsafe and putting barriers between Cody and his boys.
Oh, it's all her fault. Right. Why is she still using? Why is she still using that glitter background? It looks so tacky, in my opinion.
And making it so that the boys need to apologize to Robin. All of this stemmed from a conversation that Garrison had according to Sister Wives television show. Now, we don't know what happened in the real world. And Garrison had called Cody.
That's right, the Sister Wives television show. We don't know what happened in the real world, but why on earth are you making a video based on something that happened on the TV show? For all of you, for all that we know, they actually sorted themselves out and they were talking. We have no idea what's happened.
and said, listen, I'm done with you. I'm aware that you're just with Robin. See you, have a nice life. And Cody called him a narcissist. And he basically just said that Cody was choosing Robin over the kids, told him everything that he had been feeling. And Cody called Garrison a narcissist, told Garrison that he was wrong. And then since then, there was this huge problem between Garrison and Cody. And Garrison was very clear that he wanted nothing to do with Robin anymore. Well, on the tell-all, a lot of this got addressed because they started talking about the issues that the kids were having. So a lot of you noticed that the older children at funeral, and that has to do with their relationship with the children, the family, and how they...
Again, we don't know. We don't know what I can't be categorically and say, how does she know that they weren't there? Just because they didn't see them in the photo doesn't mean they weren't there. I don't like getting my photo taken, and if someone's coming to take my photo, I run, by the way.
They had cut off contact with their siblings and had accused them of basically ruining their lives, and they were never going to get married, and they were never going to have their own families because of how badly they had been treated by the Brown siblings and in the Brown family.
What had happened was I was being told that the kids hated me.
Yeah. And let's be honest here. How many step-parents have issues with their stepchildren? It's not unusual for there to be some angst when you are with somebody else's father. I'm just saying. Look, I'm just trying to put a different spin on this because I don't know. But whenever there is a step parent that comes into play, it can be very difficult to navigate. And don't forget, some of them had 3. You were absent a lot on photo day, Barbara. Just proves my point, right? Again, in the real world, where there are siblings and other parents, it is very, very hard to have a great relationship. I mean, I'd imagine. And don't forget, Robin came along when some of those kids were growing up, so they're not going to have the best relationship with her. But as I said, for me, it's quite normal to not get on. But anyway. Hey, Dom, how are you?
In the text thread? No, before that I was being told that the kids hate me and my kids.
Who was telling you that?
A person.
Cody was telling Robin that the kids hated her and the other kids. Cody's a narcissist, and he was pitting Robin and the kids against the other kids. But the kids...
Everyone's a narcissist, of course.
Didn't like the way that Robin was manipulating situations and also being a narcissist herself in pitting family members against family members, pitting her kids against their kids. And Robin chose to believe what other people told her rather than actually developing relationships with the kids. And Robin took it very personally that she wasn't liked and that they had the audacity to tell her no. Robin took them saying no to a video call as a complete disrespect to her. And so what she did was threw a hissy fit at them and accused the kids of causing trauma in her life, not accepting her, treating her so terribly. And then her kids got involved in this fight as well.
Did that happen? I can't remember from Sister Wives. I think that's highly exaggerated. But anyway, that's good. I'm glad you're good.
Making accusations that were horrific to these kids. And the only reason this happened was because the kids said we couldn't do a video chat. One of his last conversations with these kids and with Garrison was telling them she wanted nothing to do with them.
Oh, wait on. But how does she know that was for a TV show? She told us that according to the TV show, but we don't know what happened in real life.
So the fact that she is sitting on the front row angers people.
And then it
angers people. Angers people. Do you know that? It angers people. Like who?
blew up into this whole thing about, well, you've always treated us so badly. I'm so tired of working on this, and I've always been treated so badly. And we were like, wow. I mean, that was Robin. Oh, Robin was like, you guys have treated me so badly. I'm so tired. I don't want to work on this anymore. And then all of a sudden, her kids started piling in with.
I think they were planning a holiday. Yeah, they were planning something, weren't they? Yeah, there was something they were trying to plan together.
These really things like, you treated us so horribly. We're never going to want to have our own families because this was such a horrible experience. I'm like, whoa.
And then after yelling at the kids and accusing them of causing her trauma and being mean to her and never accepting her and treating her terribly, because remember, this text thread wasn't with the adults. It wasn't between the sister wives. It was between Robin and the kids. She was telling the kids that they never treated her well and never accepted her and that she was tired of it and she wasn't going to try anymore. And instead of then telling them we weren't going to be part of the gift exchange, she literally sent McKelty to do her work for her. So she said, she had McKelty tell the siblings that Robin and the kids were not going to do any more Christmas gift exchanges with them and that Robin wasn't going to talk to the kids anymore and that Robin and the kids' relationship was basically over.
Now, interesting that she says that she sent McKelty to do this. Again, we're talking about hearsay and secondhand. I know what was said on the TV show, but I don't know what was said in real life.
And the kids were left devastated because at that point, Robin cut contact off between her kids and the other kids because of a slight that she felt with the kids, because of a paranoia she had about the kids. Robin walked into this whole entire family, a grown-ass woman, and blamed children who were minors for causing her trauma.
What? The kids now are adults, aren't they?
She was a grown 30-year-old woman, and she went into a situation where there was 13 kids, 3 women, and a lot of money that they didn't have, hungry children that weren't getting the proper nutrition.
Hang on. Let's just have a listen to that.
And that Robin wasn't going to talk to the kids anymore. And that Robin and the kids' relationship was basically over. And the kids were left devastated because at that point, Robin cut contact off between her kids and the other kids because of a slight that she felt with the kids, because of a paranoia she had about the kids. Robin walked into this whole entire family as a grown-ass woman and blamed children who were minors for causing her trauma. She was a grown 30-year-old woman, and she went into a situation where there was 13 kids, 3 women, and a lot of money that they didn't have.
There was a lot of money that they didn't have. What does that mean? What does that mean? Is she implying that she thought there was a lot of money, but there
hungry children that weren't getting the proper nutrition, that lived in poverty, and she walked into this family and expected everyone to change for her. And then when the kids don't want to do one thing for her, she spirals out of control. She gets kids to spiral out of control, and they cut contact. To this day, she did not have a relationship with Garrison or any of these other kids.
To this day, from a TV show. We just don't know.
Zero relationship between Robin and the kids. Zero.
My kids came to me and they said, we don't feel emotionally safe to be a part of this. After that, Robin said, Dad and I decided our kids aren't going to the gift exchange anymore, and we're not going to do it. And they were devastated. And they were like, what does that mean? I thought those were our siblings. There's not a division with Robin and her kids. There is now, because she put it there.
The tell-all was filmed in the fall of 2023. And leading up to Garrison's death, McKelty was over on her Patreon and had been asked numerous times about the status of the relationship between the siblings, Dayton, Aurora, and Brianna, and their other siblings. And McKelty had said that at one point she had asked Dayton about possibly speaking to the siblings, and he refused, like defiantly refused. So apparently, at the time of his death, Robin and the kids were still and had not been on speaking terms with the kids. And it had been years. The fight over the gift exchange was for Christmas 2021. They had a whole Christmas in 2021 where they didn't see them. They had a whole Christmas in 2022 where they didn't see them. And they had a whole Christmas in 2023 where they didn't see them. In fact, Janelle and her kids were in North Carolina. So
don't forget there was COVID in there as well, by the way.
Robin was so estranged from these kids that she had likely not seen them beyond being in the same room for maybe Gwendolyn's wedding. That's it. And maybe Gwendolyn's bridal engagement party, but that's it. And according to Gwendolyn, at the wedding, no one really even interacted with Robin and Cody. They just kind of sat off on the side and were with McKelty's kids, and nobody spoke to them. And Robin's kids did not go to Gwendolyn's wedding. So they're not at Gwendolyn's wedding. They're not at Christine's wedding. They would have been invited, but they didn't go. And Robin and the kids continued their estrangement. And Robin and the kids continued to make it so that these kids were the bullies. These kids were the evil ones. And Cody, on the same tell-all, had the audacity to say that if anyone in his family, and namely, we know who he's talking about Garrison and Gabriel, that if they say anything negative about Robin, he would punch them in the face. So Cody's tell-all is filmed in the fall of 2023, and he is literally threatening physical assault against his sons. He is calling his sons bullies. He is calling his children bullies. He calls his kids jerks. Robin accuses the kids of trauma. At the time of Garrison's death, there was no reconciliation between Cody and Garrison. There was no reconciliation between Robin and Garrison. And so Robin, sitting in the front row, as though she's some sort of mom, is kind of insulting to anyone that knew how she treated Garrison, or anyone
That is a bit far-reaching, isn't it? A bit insulting, as I said. I don't know.
That knew the havoc that she created in Garrison's life. Because what woman walks into a whole ass family that has 13 kids and takes the family by the reins and changes the entire dynamic of the family and makes demands of what the family can and can't do and make demands for how they act and how they not act and moves them constantly. They move to Vegas because of Robin. They move to Flagstaff because of Robin. She uproots the family from all of their resources. She gets her kids adopted, takes away resources from the other children. Cody starts spending less time with everyone because, frankly, he doesn't want to be around the other wives anymore. And so the children that had been used to seeing Cody, maybe not as much as they had wanted to, but at least got to see him, never saw him. And Cody stopped caring. And Cody.
And don't forget, in Cody's defense, there was COVID as well, by the way. That seemed to, from what I can work out, put a strain.
He started looking at his children, specifically the boys, as competition. Cody didn't like the boys calling Robin. He, in fact, in one episode in season, I think 16, got really angry at Garrison for calling Robin, like really angry. And if you recall, I told you about how a friend of Robin's had contacted me and said that her husband had to call and speak to Robin one day. When Cody found out that another man was speaking to Robin, he lost his ever-loving mind and screamed and yelled, not only at Robin, but at everyone else in the room, and then yelled at the man for calling Robin. Cody's anger at his boys isn't about not disobedience. It's that Cody is so insecure about his own manhood, and he's so insecure that Robin's going to leave him, that his own children, his own sons are viewed as competition, as though they're going to try to take Robin from him.
But they don't like her. Why would they take her if they don't like her? That doesn't make any sense.
And he doesn't view them as children to Robin. In fact, on the tell-all, he said he needed to protect Robin from them. He needed to protect the kids he had with Robin from his other children because his other children were dangerous. So the kids are not at the funeral, probably because they don't want to have anything to do with the funeral, because they're estranged from him. And if they went to the funeral in Flagstaff, they probably went there unwillingly and because they had to, like obligatory. Now you have Cody and Robin at a funeral playing the victim and having these sad faces. But if you look at their faces, there are no tears. Everyone else in the family is crying and Cody and Robin are not. And so when people have the audacity to leave comments on my channel after the amount of time I've spent covering this family and the abuse that Cody has inflicted on this family to say that we are supposed to have sympathy for Cody for what he's going through, no, I'm sorry, but I don't have sympathy for Cody.
She doesn't have sympathy for Cody? She's never...
And because they had to, like obligatory. Now you have Cody and Robin at a funeral playing the victim and having these sad faces. But if you look at their faces, there are no tears. Everyone else in the family is crying and Cody and Robin are not. And so when people have the audacity to leave comments on my channel after the amount of time I've spent covering this family and the abuse that Cody has inflicted on this family to say that we are supposed to have sympathy for Cody for what he's going through, no, I'm sorry, but I don't have sympathy for Cody. Cody has a million regrets right now, I'm sure, but he has only himself to blame. And he inflicted so much pain onto his children and he said so many disparaging things about them and he was so cruel to them that the reason why he's not crying is because he has no tears at all. He's like,
what? So now she's going off it. She's now saying he didn't cry. So
he is crying and Cody and Robin are not. And so when people have the audacity to leave comments on my channel after the amount with Robin from his other children because his other children were dangerous. So probably because they don't want to have to do with the funeral because they're estranged from him. If they went to the funeral Flagstaff, they probably were unwillingly and because they had to, like obligatory. Now you have Cody and Robin at a funeral playing the victim and having these sad faces. But if you look at their faces, there are no tears.
I don't know words.
Everyone else in the family is crying and Cody and Robin are not. And so when people have the audacity to leave comments on my channel after the amount of time I've spent covering this family and the abuse that Cody has inflicted on this family to say that we are supposed to have sympathy for Cody for what he's going through, no, I'm sorry, but I don't have sympathy for Cody. Cody has a million regrets right now, I'm sure, but he has only himself to blame. And he inflicted so much pain onto his children and he said so many disparaging things about them and he was so cruel to them that the reason why he's not crying is because he has no tears at all. He's like dead inside or...
Wow. Wow. Oh.
He doesn't view these children as children. He and Robin cut them off and moved on. And then on the day that he dies, suddenly now he's going to show up? Now he's going to show up for Garrison because he's dead? Think about that. What kind of message does that send? He couldn't show up for Garrison when he was alive. He called Garrison a jerk, a narcissist, a bully. He threatened to punch Garrison in the mouth.
Again, and now she's just repeating everything.
told Garrison that he just wanted to go get his pencil wet. That's why he didn't want to abide by his rules. He wouldn't listen to the pain that Garrison had gone through as a child and the rejection that he felt. Instead, he put it on Garrison. So yes, people have a right to feel outraged. And yes, it's hypocritical for those two to be sitting in the front row because Cody was nothing more than a sperm donor. He wasn't a father.
But we're talking about Odie since Robin's been... Seriously.
Father, he wasn't a friend. He was a man that abused his children. And Robin was not a stepmother. She wasn't even a mother. She wasn't a friend. She was someone that came into a family. She and Cody wanted to be together, and they made everyone else bow down to them and treat.
I wonder whether she could get a legal. I reckon if I was the Browns, I'd be sending her a legal letter right now.
Them superior. She came in, she had to be the top wife. She came in, she needed to set the tone, set the rules, take the resources. While Janelle struggled to find housing and Cody made no priorities for her care, Robin got a house, Robin got cars, Robin got jewelry, Robin got a house filled with art and trinkets. And Janelle, to this day, still doesn't own a house. Janelle's boys were not angry with Cody about COVID. They were angry at the disparities between how he treated Robin and how he treated Janelle, and how he treated the kids with Robin and how he treated them. He was a terrible father to them. And they had a right to express that to him, and he took that personally and then turned them into the villains. Cody's blank stare is because Cody has no feelings and is devoid of emotion. And
and then she says all this horrible stuff and says,
that's my opinion. And so
that's my opinion.
For anyone that is outraged by their hypocrisy and their audacity to sit in the row, you have a right to feel that way. Because anyone that knows anything about Garrison and knew anything about this family knows that those two caused so much pain to that boy. And he wanted.
Apparently, if you know Garrison, but the only thing that we know about Garrison is what we've seen on TV. Laura says blank stare.
Nothing to do with them. And so they have a lot of nerve to sit in the front row. And I'm confident that the boys, Hunter and Gabriel and Logan, sat around Janelle and not by their dad, because I'm pretty sure they were protecting Janelle and making sure that no fights would happen. And I'm confident that at some point, if there is going to be some sort of like confrontation, it's going to be physical. All right, you guys. So I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. Make sure to leave a comment with something if you have something to say. And make sure to give this video a thumbs up. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet subscribed. Bye, guys.
There we go. So let's look. There's only 18 comments. So let's have a look. At these. Oh, can you believe some of that garbage? How can you accuse Cody of being a sperm donor? Look, he's going to have lots of regrets and lots of things he wished he could do better. But you know what? Again, there might be something good out of this. It might actually fix the relationship in the family. If a confrontation happened, do you think it would get physical? Do you mean between Janelle's boys and Cody? I would be surprised. Read the front row. Robin and Cody have some nerve, especially Robin. They should have sat further back. I wish Kristen and David were next to Christine and Hunter instead. Christine was a real parent to Garrison. This behaviour from Cody is emblematic of narcissists in terms of trying to get... Was Gabriel there? I worry how he's doing. Well, again, David is Christine's husband, and there's no mention about the fact that he was able to sit in the front. Did you see the look on Cody's face? Like, he wants more money. I'm doing all right, Angela. How are you? So, look, they're really not being very nice in those comments. Those comments are not very nice either. Then there was that one. Cody's and Robin's adult kids skip it. So she's really milking this. So, and it's interesting because she's deleted a lot of comments, and some of the comments I've seen where people have said, look, I'm divorced from my husband, and, you know, we'd be sitting in the front row together, and then, you know, someone says, why can't you leave them be for now? Oh, she missed this comment. So this is on the Facebook page where she posts her videos as well. Yeah, why can't you leave them be for now? And appeared disheveled and bewildered. She says they look bewildered. Let's go back to here. What does bewildered look like? There, I mean, disheveled? I don't know. I couldn't say that. But I think they look like they should, don't they? Apparently, that's Cody's mother that's sitting there. Apparently, so that's that could be Cody's. That's Cody's mother that's in the front row as well. So she hasn't mentioned that either. That Cody's not sitting next to his mother. Someone says Brianna did attend. She sat behind Gwen next to Robin's mother. Oh, is that Robin's mother? Someone's mother. And she says, that's not Brianna. Of course, she would know. Who's the girl in the white dress behind Leon's partner? Can't remember her name. That's Hunter's girlfriend. So now they're getting into McKelty. So, you know, they're very critical still of them. How can people still keep on judging, hate, and interpret things which all of us never know? It is not my business to judge Cody or Robin or anybody, even I don't like the way they behave or act. For me, it is also much more sympathy for Janelle and Christine, and may all of them really have wanted this family, but you can't force love. They choose to separate. They are adults. People, please stop internet mobbing. Please stop so much hate. Please, someone died. What if next one is Robin or Cody? Would you people even enjoy it? No. Mistake, no personality, and nothing someone's doing gives the right for internet mobbing. All the people who do this are no better than Cody or anybody. It's such a shame for something. How can you sleep at night? It's really bad, poor English. Have some empathy for the kids. So everyone's blaming Robin. But see, they had all the mothers in the front row. They had the four mothers in the row, the birth mother and the 3 stepmothers. And apparently it was disrespectful to Cody to have his hand on his wife's knee. You know, like just the stuff that they can. Someone says everyone has opinions and that's fine, but we have no idea what was said or done. Talked about, I'm not a fan of Cody or Robin, but we have no idea what happened behind the scenes. When you lose somebody, you put everything aside for the sake of the family. And that's true. You know, you have to put it all aside. So as I said, so you had this post up, and then you had Meri's post about how people grieve differently, and there's no textbook explanation about how one is to grieve. That all we have is, and that each situation is different. So just to, yeah, this is what she posted again. And it's the same time as the other one was posted. That's why I said she sort of slam dunked Katie, because she sort of really has put her Katie in her place through this post, because, you know, she's talking about how she lost both of her parents, her siblings, and now one of the boys that she grieves each one differently. And there's no timeline for it. You know, it's not going to be better. It's not, you know, there's going to be days where there's good days, bad days. And, you know, and she's left the comments up as well. So that's the why I talk about the slam dunk, because the way that Meri's articulated it is very, very beautiful. You know. So yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know how she wants them to look, Ginger. I mean, how are you supposed to look? What does that look mean? I've seen families, I've seen people who've been devastated at the loss of their spouse, but they put on the brave face at the funeral, but privately and alone, they completely and utterly broke down. They felt that they needed to be strong for their kids, so they didn't. You know, and people would have said, "Oh, gee, that's funny." People, you know, no one dared say you weren't grieving. It was, you know, and then they broke down in the privacy of their own home, in their own room. So there's no rule about grief. But she's still, I mean, her views went down dramatically when she changed her subject. So she's got to get her views back up. So, because she changed the topic. And if you don't believe me, let's look at this. That one got, in fact, they're still a little bit down. I think people are starting to get sick of it. 67,000 views, 74,000 views. When she changed to the Frankie stuff, she only got to 39,000. She's only got 39,000 for the Ruby Frankie stuff, or Frank stuff. I don't know how to pronounce it. That one got 75 because she had the full police. Then where she's accused TLC of being able to have a lawsuit, she got 125,000 views. Production sits down, producer quits. That 204,000, 97, 87. So her views are dramatically going down, as you can see, which is probably a good thing. So a week ago, she was in the hundreds. Now she's barely getting back. She's barely getting to the, the 90s. She's really low again. So I guess that's the only one good thing is that we can talk about it. Because the only good thing we can take from this is that people are actually starting to get sick of it. So not even the Duggars are doing much for her either. So, she's quickly running out of content, in my opinion. So, yeah. But I think at the end of the day that, there's no rule as to how we can grieve, and a parent has every right. She obviously deleted most of the negative comments. I saw them earlier. Yes, that's right. She's been deleting all the negative comments because there were lots of negative people, lots of people calling her out, and I can't find them. I wish you could see all the. I wish there was a way you could see all the deleted comments, but you have to try and screenshot them, and I just not up to that. So anyway, I have to go. I've got to do some video. I've got to edit a video for church on Sunday, Easter Sunday. As I said, I'm now on holidays for 2 weeks, and so I hope to get on a little bit more regularly. And we won't just be talking about Katie Joy because that's a bit boring at times. Want to talk about some other stuff, and that I've been watching, and yeah, I might be on later. We'll see how I feel, see how I go. And anyway, I want to thank you for watching. Look, if you don't mind hitting like and subscribe, that would be really great. And look, if I don't see you beforehand, have a great and a good and safe Easter. But as I said, I'll probably be on some stage, maybe Saturday. I'll probably come on Saturday. And then, I probably won't be doing anything tomorrow, being Good Friday. I don't know about you, but here we still have a lot of places that close Good Friday. There's only certain times of the year that every place closes, and Good Friday is one of them. We're a lot of but they'll be open Saturday, Sunday, Monday. But a lot of places close Good Friday still. It's still one of those very few sacred days. But it's becoming a little bit more. There's now sport and everything on now, so according to Llama Girl, there's been 23 videos about Garrison's passing, which is a little bit too much, in my opinion. Anyway, I hope you have a good and safe Easter, and I'll catch you. Oh, as I said, I'm hoping to catch you before Easter. But if not, I'll see you after Easter. Bye for now.